Sleepyheads, get your bums up out of bed. It's a good day once again. Let's get going. Good day. Yeah, you guys saw the thumbnail picture. That was a picture of me 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't look the same. I wonder what happened, huh? This is the new Will. That was the old Will. So, just to give you a little connection of my transformation. Yeah. And man, do I feel a lot better. So, I just got back from dropping off the chilling off to school. And on the way back home, I get in the car and you guys ever heard of Led Zeppelin? It's a great band. And Stairway to Heaven was playing. And it just started. And listening to that song from the school to my house. And I never really sat down and really listened to it per se. And that song is extremely spiritual. But from a mystical sense, it's based off a female deity, so to speak. Not too sure about that, but I think I'm going to go back and listen to the song again. Because I mean, yeah, as a teenager growing up in high school and stuff, yeah, you listen to the song, but you're listening to it because someone else is listening to it. At the time, you really don't know anything about it. But as I've gotten older, I started realizing that music is telling a story in some aspect of history. And putting pieces together through music, especially back in the olden days, and I don't say olden days, but the times of the Celts and the Appalachians Mountains, when after a long day of work, they would gather around a fire with a homemade fiddle or something they made or brought over from overseas. And they just started making music with words. But it was telling a story during their time. What was happening, their feelings, their experiences. And my opinion about this is, from that perspective to what it is now industrially and being controlled by the music industry, they've kind of molested it into only wanting what they want us to hear. And that's kind of difficult sometimes prospectively. I don't listen to much mainstream music on the radio stations. I tend to get my music off usually YouTube, or we've got a local station here in Skowhegan that's pretty good. So yeah, music's been a real huge influence in my life as far as inspiration, creativity, motivation. And we've all used it, right? I mean, we've all used music one way or another for a benefit for ourselves in a form of energy. So I just find that pretty cool that I haven't heard that song in a long time, but I heard it on the way home, and how the song was trying to resonate with me. And from my learning of what I've been reading and watching certain videos about religion and the origin of religion. Just recently watched Jordan Maxwell's interpretation of the Druids, the high priest Druids back in the day. They were held very high, and to me, the spiritual deity in the song Stairway to Heaven was based off a May Queen, I thought, maybe. I'm not too sure. But it's definitely a female deity that I want to do more investigating on why she's the bearer of light, in the harvest. So I'm kind of curious about that. And I'm being naive because I have some form of idea of Druidism, and because I've done some research on other religions, and it's the nature's religion. And there are there's lots of forms of things that the average human being isn't aware of on purpose due to magic. Magic is real. So words are so, that's why words have every word has multiple meanings. Using in the context, especially in the English language. To understand that, I guess because I am down the path of, writing and poetry, and so I do a lot more deep diving in languages and words, and that I'm going to probably use because I want to understand it more. So, and what I've come to find out is, yes, each word has multiple meanings depending on the usage and the context that you're using it. Words and messages can be so sneakily hidden in plain sight just through writing and what the message is trying to portray. And what I'm saying is, it's not too crazy to think that this world has been scripted, so to speak, and we're all involved in it one way or another. So I guess that's where I'm at right here, is the question on just a song, really. Where did it originate? Where did Robert Plant, come up with the idea to write that song, Stairway to Heaven? And she's buying her stairway to heaven. To me, that I don't know what that means. So if anybody out there actually understands the song per se, I'm kind of interested in your take on what the song is trying to tell for a story, according to what I think it should be. Because, every person's going to have a different perception of that version of song by Led Zeppelin called Stairway to Heaven. So it's kind of trying to think of what else kind of brought my attention to the song per se was I don't really know. I'm not sure about the May Queen. Obviously, it's a spiritual deity, and it's spring. It would probably signify spring, probably. So anyway, I got to get off the subject because I'm getting too far deep into the rabbit hole. I really don't want to get too deep into a song that really only has meaning to whatever you can use to your life, right? So, but yeah, I produced a pretty good memorial for a person that was pretty important part of my life, and he just came into my life. Talking about Bob, Mr. Reisner. He went by so many names, but how grateful I am to have that opportunity to be able to spend 8 important years, almost like having to go to college for your doctorate, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like being around this man. Like, even at a young age, I felt a presence in this man that I needed to learn from. And a lot of my mannerisms and I get a lot of that from him. And that you are your present, and you have to show your presence and confidence. And there's no shame in that. So there's a lot of things that Robert, and the love of cooking, maybe the love for music, but all this thing, I had to give this man credit because he's still a living presence that I feel every day in my life. Even though he's been gone for a while from this planet and the body, I know that consciously he's still present, if that makes any sense. So it was hard to write it because it was something that I had to remember that was awful, confusing time. And I remember a lot of the stuff that as a kid, I kind of suppressed. And now it comes back to me gentle. It's coming back to me more in a gentle way, not as a embracive. So memories of my past coming back, I'm able to write down. And to me, that's a blessing. It's a blessing, you know. And this guy not even being my father, my biological father, was more impressive to me as a child because the presence was still a father figure. He was a father. You know, he raised children. He just wasn't my father. And seeing it from that perspective as a young child at such a young age, it gave me a great perspective of what maybe I want to be in a man. So instead of giving him my, you know, I'm just so grateful in a lot of ways that I didn't take that knowledge that I had, that I could have gotten from my biological father. Right. So I guess looking at my life at a more positive perspective, even understanding it at a young age, that I was different, that I could perceive things and be whoever I wanted to be. And then taking this advice for 8 years from a mentor, so to speak, a man that was already in his 60s. He was seasoned. And he was a musician. I had so many unbelievable opportunities in front of me at the time that I probably didn't even take because I didn't realize how great of a gift this was. So now looking back at it, it's not regret. It's not, because it's not regret at all. It's admiration. It's admiration and appreciation for a man that came into my life when I didn't even know or expect how to be anything. You know, I was confused. Already being in another foster home temporarily, coming into a new foster home, and that other one was horrible, you know. So there was a lot going on in my life at the age of 10 years old, if that makes any sense. I mean, more than it should be for an average child. And if you were raising a child right now as a mother or as a father, and you're in here on this chat, you can completely understand what I'm saying. You would not want your child to be raised by somebody you didn't know. Okay. And that's being heartfelt. And I'm being completely honest when I'm saying this. And to this very day, when I raised my 3 children, I made it a vow to myself that I would never let anybody raise my children. I was going to raise my children the best way that I knew how. And it was on me. I could never give a child away, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not in my DNA. I could never give up a child that was alone on the street. I've taken in my life, through my life experiences, 13 years on Pratt Court, I've had multiple people, young people living in my home so they could get through life and get through school. So it's very important to me to understand my true presence. And I thank Bob for all that. Bob gave me that presence of leadership, owning your own poop, cleaning your own poop up, and then building a beautiful home with what you have. Because it's all that matters. The only thing that you can deal with personally, and this is what I've learned from this man, is you got what you got right now and be grateful for what you got and make the very best of it. And this was his experiences through the Great Depression and how he got through that great trauma. I couldn't imagine having to be a child and go through what that man had to go through. But yet, he was there to teach me, to tell me stories so I could take those stories and allow them to never go away, to keep him as his legacy in mind and our relationship. In my opinion, he's probably one of the greatest men that I've ever met in my life. And hopefully, I hope I can meet people that are greater. That's my goal one day, to meet a greater man than him. And the greater man at this point is what he created in me to be a great man and to be the very best man that I can be. So, yeah, I wrote that yesterday because it was an appreciation for a man that was just an amazing man. And I just felt the need that it needed to be written and permanent in a video form so it could be permanent. That his legacy could live on forever. And to me, that's important to me too. And that's why I took a big leap. And I know people don't want to understand this, but yeah, I could have went down the kid version of a channel and kept doing Owen YouTube channel videos. And I didn't want to, because it wasn't about the monetary thing. It led me to being a poet and to be who I am and to love who I am. And to really I never had this passion before in my life that's come into my life so passionately as it was for writing and gaining more knowledge on why I'm here, who I am, what's the next step, what's the next walk in this journey, and to surrender to everything on this journey, and to realize that this plan's already been planned. You are already it. You are exactly where you need to be. Let it work itself out. But definitely trust. And that's something that I've had to learn and still learning, to trust and to remove the abandonment issues that I still deal with. Dealing with someone not wanting me. Those things always, it's a process, okay? And in that healing process, you work on these things, that the sensitivities, not caring about what other people think, because it's not, their energy is not yours and you don't need to accept it. These are things that I still work on that are important to maintain my self-love and to maintain this sense of peace, of emptiness and awareness that brings me to where I am here as a peaceful man, sitting in that peace and accepting that. And whatever comes in, because if you add an S to a word, what do you get? It's called sword, which is a double edge, right? So we have to be consciously aware always, and living by that conscious awareness, by listening to that conscious awareness, following the conscious awareness. The true person that truly loves you is you. Listen to that person. Don't listen to anybody that doesn't love you. Plain and simple. If their interest and their best interest in for you, don't listen to it, man. If they're trying to get something out of you, there's no reason to even have any energy. So, At the end of the day, this is what I've learned as I've grown and lost weight. And, it's been an awesome hike on this journey. Still not even close to being to the top, to where I want to be. But definitely appreciate where I am. And that's the key. Is true appreciation, gratitude, and truly loving yourself unconditionally is the key. And maintaining that peace of detaching yourself from this reality and start working on your own and creating your own. I don't have to conform to anybody, and I know that. I don't have to do anything to impress anybody. I don't have to say anything to impress anybody. I can just be me. And being in that power and feeling that strength that I have and knowing who I am love unconditionally, and I am the expression of love consciously, always. So it doesn't matter. What matters is what I can do to be a better person, and in the same process of this, being a better person, helping others, being a service to someone else. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm open. The first thing that I say in the morning is, what can I do for you, Will? What can I do to make your day happier? And I'm talking to myself this way because that's what it's all about. What today can bring you greater joy? Can I open a door for somebody today? Can I do something that's going to bring me greater joy by helping someone else? Or maybe writing a poem for myself. Or maybe listening to someone's worries that they have right now on something that they can't change. And maybe help them realize that they're already whole and complete. They don't have to change anything. The worry is the problem. Remove worry and already know unconditionally there is no problem. The problem is the problem that makes you worry. It's simple. It's simple. If you want to heal yourself, change your thinking. Period. If you're sick, you're not sick. And start living your life not being sick. Do the best you can. It's not going to be easy, but it's one step in front of the other. You force yourself to know the truth, that we're whole and complete, and we're not aside from the Father. I, the Father, are one. Period. And if we are that, then we're healthy, we're whole, we're complete. We're not missing out on anything. And that's how I live my life. I don't put labels on nothing. Once you start putting labels on things, you are it. You put a label on yourself, you are automatically going to fall into a cave that you don't realize you've been in. And I'm only saying this from experience for myself. My naiveness in the beginning. My real showing my true love in every word that I wrote. And I'd write a loving message in everyone's chat. And all it did was blow up into my face. So it's very important for me to practice each and walk my experience. And if I'm going to write a long message, it's going to be meaningful. I'm not going to spend all that time writing a love on their video for myself, right? And they deserved it. And it came from my heart and soul. And that's why I love using the word love. And may love be with everyone forever. That's what I want. I want that for myself. So why deny that? Why not say that? Because I'm lying to myself. If you're doing that and you're holding back these words that you truly feel, that are real, like love, and how it makes you feel, and how it reflects other people, you should never be afraid of that. And I was for a long time. That's why I was away from my channel for a long time. Because I felt the bullying. I felt the attacks. I felt that these people didn't even know who I was and they're judging me. And then again, I'm still standing here in my true self, just not saying as much of the love and the unconditional love. And I'm a lighthouse and all that stuff because it's not needed. My higher power told me I don't need to explain myself for anything. Just be you. And that's what I've been doing. So, and grateful. Grateful for the opportunity to see through certain things that I couldn't see before. To understand and realize that I don't need a group of people to try to help me and take my money for promoting or whatever, which is fine. It works for you. But I'm not a person that thinks that I have to give money to get something in return. My time is just as valuable as a currency. So, and take it wherever you want. You know, I mean, we all, you know, and Life with Chaja, hey, how are you? I came into I like your videos in the morning. You're great. You're great. You too have transformed in a different light. And I see it, you know, and seeing things from a different perspective than you saw maybe over a year ago, you can see the transition. And this person, she's a beautiful soul, you know, and she's doing it for the right reasons. She's doing it for the betterment of herself first and her family, you know, setting a good example for her kids, her children, you know, and I'm not saying everyone's not like that. I think that everyone has their own intentions. But she loves herself first, and you can see her love shine through her videos and her excitement when she's, you know, reading off the people that have come in and joined her chat. You can feel that love that she has for those people and the true appreciation. And that's why I keep going back to her channel. Okay, that's why I go back in the mornings, because it's a good vibe for me in the morning to see that love, that electric energy that she has, that's infectious, you know, that go-getter, let's get up and go. And some mornings I need that. And sometimes I pop my phone on and she's up on live. So I'm like, okay, I'll pop in and see her, because I'm following my conscious awareness and just listening and following to what is drawn to in a joyful way. In a so to speak poetic way, right? We all live our life poetically in our own way, our way that we want to energize it. And I love the fact that she likes the maintaining of the health and the wellness, because she knows that whatever goes into the body is a reflection of the body. And I think that's impressive. And it's heartwarming that we all have our directions of where we need to be. And we're unique in connecting in certain ways. So it's amazing. Joe Olivia, how are you? You're going to hello my sister. You know, it's my brother. I'm a boy, but you can call me a sister if you want. That's fine. But I'm a man last time I checked. But thank you anyway. I understand. I think you're having a hard time with English. So I understand and I respect that. So, yeah. How you doing? I was in your chat this morning too. You're a wonderful joy too. Your energy is beautiful too. It's electric. So thank you. Thank you for coming in and saying hello to my live. So Life with Taja and Joe Olivia, I appreciate you guys coming in and saying hello. It's love here. Thanks. You can't get back time, but you can make up the difference. You can make up the difference starting right where we're talking right now. Change the mindset now, knowing that you've already surrendered what you already were, and that you are someone completely different. And I've been working on this too because I get caught up. I still have a couple things that I'm working on personally. Okay. One is I've hit a plateau with my weight loss. I'm not accepting that. I'm accepting the fact that I am losing weight. It's a form of mind control, right? Because you get caught up into thinking that things are not what they seem they are, but you have to go back to your conscious awareness and realize you look great. You're amazing, right? And that makes you see the smile. And it's a game changer. It's a game changer for me. Especially coming from being over 375 pounds 8.5 years ago. Huge face. I mean, dude, you guys could barely see. You guys saw the thumbnail. I just look, to me, I've come a long way not to get caught up in my past or get set back. I can't get set back. I got to look forward. So, yeah. Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. I truly I appreciate feedback, and I appreciate positive feedback, and I appreciate something that's consensual on a level that both can learn from it. That's what I'm more into. I'm more into having a conversation that we can both learn from different perspectives, whether it be white or black or red or blue or male or female. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me the most is the spiritual soul connection that is trying to be communicated here. Because there's a reason there is this communication. It's divinely communicated. We've been connected for a reason in this moment. So what is my job? My job is to find why, how, and what can we get out of this in a positive manner that the world can get out positively. Do you feel me? Because we both have, no one person's the same mentally, but with an open mind, we could find a more common ground and understanding to what you don't understand maybe, or what I don't understand about you. But we ain't going to get that if there's no consensual connection where there's neutral. There's no you don't have that feeling of someone being, oh, I don't really want to know. You know what I'm saying, I think. You have a feeling that this person doesn't care to know. I want to know. Good or bad. It's just like the word, right? Word with an S on it. It's a sword. Now, I'm using that analogy because everything is a double-edged sword, good or bad. And I want to be that person in the middle that can, with a conscious awareness, to understand whether it's for myself, whether it is for me, good or bad. Because it doesn't matter whether it's bad for me or good for me in the moment, because someone that comes along, it could definitely be great for them. And that goes for... A perfect example is all these exercise channels. Taja, you got one that I go and listen, but you're not. I don't go to watch many of them, but I watch yours because there's a connection. There's an energetic connection that draws me to it. I mean, it's plain and simple. Just like cooking with Sherry. I love cooking with Sherry. She makes very unique recipes, They're not always, desserts, meals. And I've had a relationship with Cooking with Sherry for about 5 years now, or 4.5 years, and it's a great relationship. And I have that also. We did for a while. I lost her number and all that stuff. But anyway, and so I like to cook myself. And I did a lot of little cooking videos to test the waters to what I wanted to do when I started my channel, before I started doing just strictly poetry. And, I have a passion for cooking, but I'd rather go watch someone else cook, in my opinion. I don't want someone watching me. Although, I get great passion in anything I do, really, if I get my mindset. And there's a lot of cooking channels out there that are good. Okay. And I don't blame or bash any of the cooking channels whatsoever. I think they're wonderful. And there's a lot of things that I like for vlogging. I like vlogging. I like watching different countries and people vlogging their country and what they're eating for food. So I love it that everyone has their niche. I think it's what makes everything beautiful to me. That's why the world looks like a canvas. You're a canvas. It's so important for me to see things from a conscious awareness perspective. Open. I don't see things the way that I don't see anything for barriers. I don't see labels. I see opportunity. Opportunity to share each other's strengths, express weaknesses so we can get better. Come on, we're not all perfect. Maybe there's something that you could help me with. My lack of understanding of culture. But we all know, most of us have had similar upbringings, one way or another. Most of us out here aren't gifted with a mother and father to be living, I don't know, in a mansion, being spoon-fed with a silver spoon. Let's face it, a lot of us never had that opportunity. But it doesn't make us any different. It doesn't make us any less powerful. We don't all drive Mercedes-Benz and we don't all have private planes. But we have something that's more powerful than that. We have a love that can never be bought or sold. We have a soul that cannot be bought or sold unless you give it up. And to me, that's my greatest power. And I have all my needs being met. And for that, I am so filthy rich. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for all that. It's the small things that we start realizing that it matter the most. It's the small things that maybe you do that might brighten someone's day by saying hello or have a great day. Heck, or maybe buying someone a coffee that in front of you didn't have enough money. You just had change and you didn't quite have enough. But you did. And you bought them a coffee. It's those things. It's getting up every morning and helping your children get ready for school. Putting their clothes on, getting their clothes out, getting their socks on. Just assisting them. And then getting packed up in the car and going to school and walking them in. It's those things that bring me great joy. It's not necessarily being here on the camera. It's not necessarily writing poetry sometimes. It's the simple things. It's the simple things that change another person's life without having to expect anything in return. That brings me great joy. Yeah. It's being able to get Owen's snack ready for the day so he has it. And done with love. Or it's like getting ready to go pick him up. Get to that exciting feeling that I can't wait to see him come out of school and ask him how their day was. In a lot of ways, I've turned into a mother in a man's body. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it's turned my masculine more into a feminine perspective. It doesn't mean that it hasn't lost my masculine, but right now it's not needed. I don't need to be that embracive, authoritarian. Right now, these children are looking for that loving and kind and nurturing perspective. So, of course, that's the view that I want to make sure they understand, that a man can show the same love that a female woman can. You know, that it doesn't matter the body, as long as you know what the love feels like. Does that make sense? Because love is unconditional. It doesn't know. You know, when you fall into somebody, fall in love with a soul, does it really matter whether it's a male or a female ultimately? As long as that love is pure and it's felt between two people. So I'm just saying that I'm not prejudiced or any of that. I'm just trying to make a point that it's hard to control who you fall in love with when it's real. Free Fire Master, how are you, young fella? I don't understand how you're getting into my lies when I say it's not for kids. You must be going over the firewall or something. So I don't know what you're doing, buddy, but I can't believe you're in here. But I'm good to see you. And I just realized the difference in the word that what we just had for a conversation was all natural and it was flowing so naturally free, and I can't even believe it just happened like that. Not even realizing that. I remember back in my other videos I used to use and that one was that conversation just flowed, man. Thank you. It's real. You're real. You don't matter to me. You don't remember me? Yeah, of course I remember you. Yeah, you from Albania. And you're 11 years old, and I don't understand why you got into my chat. And your dad reminds me of you, or you remind me of your dad, and your mom told you to warn people on the internet. Yeah, I know you. We had a conversation a while ago. Yeah. How was your day at school today? I've got a wonderful memory. I don't forget things. And part of that's because of my zodiac sign. And I'm very grateful for it. Because it too is a strength to your DNA. And we all should be living by some form of our zodiac. Because it does make us up who we really are astrologically. From a sense of consciousness. Does that make sense? Okay, yes. Yeah, so yeah. What did you learn today in school? And you get on here just the nick of time because I was getting ready to leave. I have a YouTube channel when I was 8 years old, and it's a video of me, but my friends don't like the video. You can't worry about stuff like that, young fella. The biggest mistake you can make is start a YouTube channel and show all your friends your channel, because it's going to be your biggest downfall. I believe in personally, young man, is you create a channel that you want to do, and Don't share it with anybody you know. Share it with the ones that don't know you. And I think that you'll have a better success. So don't worry about that. Yeah, I can relate. I can relate to what you said. Um, but remember, they can't hurt you with their words unless you let them. Don't give them the power. Don't give them your power. Stand strong and don't let them make fun of you. Their words ain't going to matter. Well, I suppose. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you later.